for two men battling for all that money, Nelson.
You're right.
For the big win.
Well, the biggest difference between an amateur and a pro is the ability to recognize a lane condition and adjust, and that's what sits in front of these two players.
That left lane.
Power players just have to be a little bit more disciplined when they roll the ball. See, he just kind of throws it away, pulls his follow-through down, and doesn't get the extension. The ball cuts through the heart, leaves the 3, 4, 6, 7, whatever it is, 9, 10 out there. Tough shot and a terrible way to open a match. Chris, they can stop all that by cutting their hook down, being a little bit more under control. This is not a 6-game match. This is a 1-game sprint to the winner's circle, and you have to have a little less power to at least mark in the opening frames.
225-pounder. Crossing over, leaving the 6, 9, 10.
A powerful man, weightlifter, bench presses 425 pounds, but it isn't going to help him if he doesn't get the ball in the proper direction. He's got good position here. Look at his hips. Everything's straightened away. Watch that left shoulder pull back. But he's just sawing on it, hooking it too much to accommodate this lane condition. Straighten it out, and you'll find there's a real good shot out there.
He was 4th in the Quaker State last year, right here. Best thus far this year, 11th. The Hilton Hotel Classic, and he was 13th at our opening telecast, AC Delco.
Our top 3 players out here, Chris, all are strong players. They have a great game. They just need to get a little more versatility, such as a guy like Monicelli has learned over the years, and they can be top stars.
Crossover strike for Bob Spaulding, originally from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Former carpet installer. Now bowling out of Greenville, South Carolina. After an open second frame, Coffman.
Well, there's a cardinal sin in match game bowling is that when you can hit one lane, don't lose it. Kelly Coffman has hit this right-hand lane very well in his first 2 matches, and now he's starting to lose it here in the championship match. You have a chance to win. It's just match game play if you can hit one of the lanes.
Back-to-back open frames.
Well, Kelly made this spare to win the match, the semifinal match. But here in the opening going of the championship match, 48,000 at stake. He's open with 2 open frames. He's got to get his strike ball going.
There's that uncontrollable hook. 10-pin again.
Too many violations of principles of the sport. He's varying his accuracy and his ball speed. You cannot do both and hope that you're going to develop some type of line. And Chris, we know these guys got the power. I mean, they can throw the ball down there 20 miles an hour, and sometimes you just have to take the lane out of play.
And Bob is doing exactly what he told you he was going to do, right?
Yes, he is, Chris. He's playing much less hook. And as you see, through the 42 games, Spaulding led the qualifying 18 games, cut to the top 24. Coffman had a brief stint at top, but Spaulding overtook him in the last game last night. And Chris, you are correct. Spaulding is moving deeper in the center of the lane, playing all oil, cutting his hook down. And if he can just fill the frames, he'll win the match. He doesn't need a 250 to win this tournament.
High and a 10.
Maintain that form under pressure, Bob. Ended up on 2 feet that time instead of posting it up there at the foul line. Maintain your balance.
The head-to-head position round, Bob outscored Kelly Coffman 198 to 162. We'll be back. The Halsey family from left to right, Brenda, Randy, Deb, and Mom. And behind Mom, her sister Claudette. Hospitality. Served up beautifully by this family.
Kelly Coffman, fourth frame. Only one ball out of 7 been in the pocket in this championship match.
3-6 on the right.
1 out of 8.
Monticelli over Goebel, 244-202. Coffman over Monticelli, 218-214. Then over D'Entremont, 185-175. Now the final championship game. First strike of this final game. 55 to the 4th, strike up in the 5th. Spaulding, 34-pin lead, spare working 5th frame.
Both players struggling a little bit, especially on the right-hand lane, which has been yielding on quite a few strikes in the first 2 matches. Players drifting high, 3-6-10. When they move deeper on the lane, they leave the 2-4-10 split. So it's imperative he covers the spare. It's match game competition.
And each sign of Fulmer, Bob's fiance.
For a player to get the most out of his abilities on the tour here, he has to know his strength. These players are both power players, but they also must understand their weaknesses. And their weaknesses are when the lanes get tough like that, they get too many open frames, you've got to cut the hook down and get his speed on the ball.
And now a Spaulding problem.
Well, standing to the extreme left on the approach, he's trying to cut his hook down, just quite didn't do it enough. It's hard for a cranker or a power player who's used to seeing that ball going right to left to make it go almost straight, and now he's got an open frame.
Came in the 6th of this championship game, and the lead is cut down to 17. Coffman with a strike up, shooting in the 6th. A 2. Big shot, though.
Sends it wide, Chris, and he trusts it. He didn't go high, but almost leaves the 210 as that ball just hangs. Gets a spare to shoot at.
Kelly was the 89 and 88 Topeka Bowler of the Year. Still no title. Same Bob Spaulding, no more looking, but he has one regional title. That is something to cheer on that left lane. You're right, Kelly.
Spaulding with just kind of a neutral grip. He's going to try to cut some of that hook down. He sets that thumb to the 1 o'clock position and just kind of lets it roll down there. Real good shot.
Matching strikes in the 7th frame.
Making the good adjustment. Doesn't let the wrist snap under the ball and fingers around it. Goes straight up through it. The ball kind of settles in the pocket instead of drifting high for another split. Puts himself in a position where he can take a lead in this match of 27 pins. Stands to the left, not as far as Kelly is. Goes over here, sets that thumb about 12 o'clock. He's going to try to throw a fairly straight ball between the 3rd and 4th arrows. Big shot.
Bowling here for a total of $73,000 in the title match. 48 to the winner.
Well, that's real good stuff by Bob Spaulding. The ability to go away from your A game under pressure, and so far he's performing well. Now Coffman has to answer.
And cuts Spaulding's lead back to 17.
I can't tell you how much it is to a player, not only financially, but mentally, to win your first title. And right now, both these players in that position to get the respect of their fellow players, to be a champion.
No break on that shot. Bo, you remember your first?
First title in Louisville, Kentucky, Chris, and I had the same thoughts that some of these players did. I really wasn't thinking about the money, although 48 grand here is a lot. I wanted some respect, and that's what you get when you win.
That's what Bob Spaulding has said, you know, all along. And Kelly agrees, I'm sure. Win it, and the rest comes.
Well, Spaulding's put himself in a position where he just needs 2 marks to lock up his first title and get that respect. Let's see what happens. 9th frame.
And Bo, with incentives, victory here is a pretty good money package, isn't it?
Right, Chris. There's incentives by all sorts of people and manufacturers and so forth. So I'm telling you, he's looking probably at the $85,000 to $100,000 paycheck if he knocks this one down, considering he's going to the Brunswick Tournament of Champions, and he's put himself in a position where he needs 8 pins on this first ball to lock up his first title, and he knows it. He got my respect, Chris. In the middle of the match, he goes away from his A game. He learned from those other 6 losses he's had out here on the Professional Bowlers Tour, and he's captured his first title.
Well, you've often said, Bo, he's one of the most talented out here, and the most talented of the 188 this week.
That's for sure. All 3 of these top guys,
yes,
if they all learn a lesson from them, D'Entremont, Spaulding, Coffman, they can do it. They have the talent.
And a high five from Kelly Coffman. Kelly will be written a check for 25 grand. 48 in the Quaker State 250, which Bob Cohen will be presenting to this young man originally from Pennsylvania. And he keeps stroking. In the 230s, in fact, 231 for the Quaker State 250 champion here at the Forum in Grand Prairie, Texas. We'll be back.